most people have this sense of feeling that, you know what, you need to pay your first car. You pay it off and then you keep it, right? You stay with it because you have that emotional attachment to it. You have that feeling, and you want to have that sense of ownership, right? Of actually owning the car. So in this video, I want to break down in terms of what are the benefits of doing that and what are the disadvantages of doing that and what I will do in this scenario, right? In this channel, as you know, we talk all things real estate, all things personal finance, so that you are the driver of your financial situation, not just the passenger. Let's get to it, shall we? So, in terms of car ownership, right? But before I get deep down to that, you need to understand that what is it that you are actually owning, right? What kind of property is it that you are trying to own, right? So if you think about it, a car is depreciating, right? It's depreciating over time, which means that even if you buy today and you drive out a week later, your car value is not the same as it was when you bought it, right? Even if you take it back to the dealer and say, hey dealer, I don't want this car, can you take it back? They will offer you much less than what you paid for it, right? So let me ask this, then what is the point of paying off and putting more money on something that value is going towards zero, right? Because you need to understand that a car is depreciating over time, which means that the value of the car is going closer to zero over time. So why should I put much more money on a car that is going towards zero, right? As if that is not bad enough, right? Have you realized that after 5 years or so, your car start giving issues, right? It start breaking down. You need to take it to the mechanic. You need to, all those kind of stuff, right? At that point, also, it's out of service plan, out of warranty, all this kind of stuff that actually cost you more money for something that is going towards zero. How do we benefit from that? Right? I want you to think about it. By the way, if you have not subscribed to this channel, just hit that subscribe button because it helps me share this information to a large number of people, right? Because as you can see that most people are not really subscribing to this channel, so most people are not getting this useful information, right? So let's keep this information to the people, right? Okay, let's get to it. So I'm still saying that a car, over time, the value is going towards zero. What is the point of paying too much on it? Right? So I get that people want to have that sense of ownership, but ownership of what, really? Ownership of a liability. I don't think this is the way we should be thinking, right? Because when you start to own a car, it brings a whole lot of issues. Out of service plan, like I already said, all these expenses that you need to pay, right? So this is the way I am thinking, right? What if instead of owning that car, right? What if, right, you trade it in, right, at around between when you're around 4 years to 3 years to 4 years, it's a good time to trade it in and actually get a settlement value where you don't have to pay anything additional to what you've already paid. And at that point, you will not be really spending too much on the service plan, because normally, I mean, okay, I'll talk from experience from the cars I've driven. The service plan is around 3 years, right? So around 3 years, after that time, I feel I need to get rid of the car, because I want to pay as little as possible on the car. What I want to pay is the installment that I'm paying on the car. I want to pay the insurance, and I want to pay diesel. That's it. I don't want to pay anything really additional to that, because the more I'm paying money on that car, it's going to zero. I'm losing money. Right? So even it doesn't make sense for me to try to own a car. For what? Because I'm losing money just for owning it. Right? What if instead of putting all that money in a car, you put it in a house? Right? Understanding that a house appreciates over time. Right? And when you put it on a house, you grow, or you develop, or you increase what we call equity, which is the percentage of ownership that you have on the house. Rather put more money where you can recover it, because on a house you cannot recover the money. On a car you will not recover the money that you put it in, but on a house, easily you will recover the money. Over time, if you bought your property for 500,000, 2 years down the line or 3 years down the line, it will be, let's say, it will have 100,000 additional money, because on average right now the increase is increasing at 4%, right, per a year. 4% per year. Even the bank is not gonna give you that, right? Even if you just save the money, the bank is not gonna give you. So I want you to understand and try to make the difference between a house and a car. A car is a liability, right? Unless if you are using the car to make some sort of business and you're generating some income, okay, then maybe. But you know, most businesses, what they do, right? Most businesses lease the cars because they understand they lease the car for a certain period, because they understand that, you know what, to own a car, it's actually, you are wasting money on that. Right? I hope this opens someone's eyes and we begin to understand that there's real assets, and real assets, real estate. That's why it's called real estate. It's the only asset really that is real. Right? So you need to be able to understand that difference, that actually you should actually try to own more houses than more cars. I know we like to be flashy. We like to show people how many cars we can drive. And because, I mean, a house is stationary, right? Nobody will see, unless if they come to your house, what kind of a house you have. But people prefer to have really expensive cars than to have really expensive houses, which is okay. We need to start thinking in terms of growing wealth as people of color, especially because most of us, we come from very disadvantaged background, and you really need to think about generational wealth. You need to really think about what you are leaving for your children, right? You can never leave a car for your children. I mean, at what condition will your car be when you leave it for your son? I mean, let's say 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, they don't make them like that anymore. I mean, in the old days, they used to make proper cars, and those cars will last a very long time. But nowadays, they don't make them like this. It's plastic, these things. Food of thought, guys. Think about it. I hope this is very much clear. If it's not clear, you watch it again and again and again and again until you understand it, right? Cheers. I'll see you on the next one.